The number one question I get asked by you is how do I find the people who will buy my product or service? Where do I get the leads? Where do I get the traffic? I'm going to show you something that I made for you that will help you with this. And I'm going to walk you through it. And then you get this for yourself in the link in the description. Going to help you with this, no gatekeeping, going to walk it through. And I even for this one made an audio setting where you can actually have something read most of it, not the front part, but it'll read the pop-ups and the pull down menus audibly if you want. So I'm going to walk you through. I'll be your guide for now. And people ask me this every day in the comments. They ask me, my students ask me. I have lots of traffic training, especially in certain memberships and certain places. But I wanted to show you how you can start today. So if you are ready to learn that big question that everybody asks me and everybody could benefit from, what I want you to say is in the comments, I want you to say, I'm ready for more traffic. I'm ready for more traffic. When I say traffic, if you think about cars coming at you, cars going by you, it's a lot of different people. There's foot traffic also. So if you have a store, a physical location, you tend to want to get the store in a place that has foot traffic where more people are likely to see you, even if they don't know about you. So that's how we're going to imagine this right now because I make it so simple for you to have the offer. I teach you how to create an offer, but I also sell products in a box. So I sell my prompt shop in a box. I sell my YouTube OS in a box. I sell my hiring OS in a box. I have several others that are on the way that will come out in just a few days. And that part, the offer itself, used to be the number one question I would receive. Therefore, I created solutions for it. So I handed you offers. I also have my affiliate links for my memberships. So if you don't have your own offer, you can just tell people about my memberships and you get a percentage, a high percent of the sales. So if you're in your first 5K or Arlan's All Access or Inner Circle, you're able to make money by simply telling people how much you love what we're doing there. So I've given you the solutions, a lot of solutions when it comes to the offer. But then the question becomes, if I don't already have an audience, if I don't already have a lot of followers, where do I get the people, the traffic, right? If that's one of your questions, let me know. But I believe it is because I get the comments so often. So I'm going to show you a few ways. And there are multiple ways, but these I think are kind of the fastest way to do it. And if you think about it with let me get 100 views within 24 hours on my product. The people looking at my product, my checkout page, my sales page, that's what we're talking about right now. Okay, so put in the chat the number 100. 100, say 100 exclamation point. I'm ready, 100. Okay. All right. So let's just think about it from those terms and think about how having 100 people see your offer right now, how that would benefit you. Now, before I show you too much, I also want to make it very, very clear that you can have all the traffic in the world, all the people in the world looking at your product or your offer. But if it is not a good, helpful, valuable offer, it does not matter because it will not convert unless you're just like a genius at marketing. And then once people buy it, if it's not good, they'll let you know. They'll ask for refunds or they'll tell other people publicly or they'll do word of mouth and keep people away from you. So you want to always start with an amazing offer if you're sending your traffic to something. Okay. Now, how to get people to see your offer. A practical framework that works regardless of your audience size, your platform, or experience. So you can have zero audience and zero experience and still do this, or you can be seasoned. I have a lot of people who follow me, and I'm always looking for more traffic. So there's not anybody here who is like serious about their coaching or serious about their digital products offer or anything else who can't use this, right? So first we'll start here. We'll come back to the bonus in a second because this is specifically for people who have the prompt shop in a box. So we'll come down here for more general. So, how to get 100 people to see your offer in 24 hours. The most realistic, relatable way to get people to see your offer in one day. If I had zero audience, here's exactly what I would do. Now, I did a video recently where I talked about what I would do too. And I told you step by step by step by step by step. And I'm going to give you more on the traffic side of things. Okay. Number one, I'd send my offer directly to people in my phone who are already in my contacts. I'm looking over here at my phone, already in my contacts. Now, this is me starting over. I used to be very unresourced. I used to be homeless. I used to be broke. I used to be hungry and not the cool way. Like as in hungry, not thirsty is like the cool, like motivated way. But I was like truly hungry and had housing insecurity, had food insecurity. And I still thankfully had a phone and I had some contacts in it, right? Now, am I going to send it to a grandparent? Probably not, although they probably would buy. But there are some people in your phone right now. So if you text 30 people, you might get 10 to 20 clicks, right? So not in a group message, individually. People overlook this because it feels too simple, but this is the fastest path you have. You send them a text that says something like, hey, I made something new that helps people with XYZ. If you want the link, I'll send it. Another thing you could say is, hey, do you know anybody who would want this? Because then that takes the pressure off of them and they can look at it for themselves and say, oh, actually, I'd be interested. Or they might say, yeah, I know somebody, or they may ignore you. But going into it saying it's a numbers game and you're going to send it to people, you might not want to send it to people you have beef with, right? Someone you haven't reached out to in years, and it would be weird. But it is an interesting icebreaker to bring people back. Imagine you met somebody, and you're like, I don't really know what to say to this person after we met. Maybe I'll tell them about this thing. Or maybe I'll say, hey, I love meeting you, but I love meeting you, not but I love meeting you. Do you know anybody who would be interested in this? Now, not almost nobody does this because they don't want to feel exposed, but this is why it works. It's like your warmest leads possible. The second thing is I'd post inside of 3 communities where I already spend time. So I'm gonna go not only in communities like, I don't have a Facebook group, but I'm not only gonna go into places like I do this on school and some memberships that allow it. But I'm gonna go look at YouTube comments. I'm gonna go look at Instagram comments on posts where people are gathering where I want to be, like where the people that I want to reach are gathering already. I'm going to go look and see what their pain points are, where I can be helpful. And it doesn't have to be this direct, hey, do you want to go look at this link? In fact, it's even better if you say, look, I'm going to spend a little bit of time answering questions. But if we're talking about a 24-hour period, you might want to go look for people who are specifically asking for this type of thing. And that's going to take a little research, but it's going to be worth it. I'd send it to 5 people who run small audiences. So they're not these huge influencers. That's what people do so often. They go to people who have like 100,000 plus email lists. And they're like, hey, without paying you anything, can you shout me out? Or can I guess? And it's like, you have to put yourself in their shoes and say, why would somebody with that large of an audience need me? Now, some of them would strategically, and you kind of know it if like, oh, this audience needs me because of this. But if you're questioning it, if you're hoping that they kind of blow you up and that's how you make all your money, that's probably not the right fit. So instead, look for somebody who has 200 to 2,000 people in their audience. Either you can see their follower count or you can find out about their emails that they put out. I just did this a couple of days ago. Even at the size of my audience, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, I'm content. I'm saying, or complacent. I'm saying, what can I do that's smart here? I have advertising dollars. I am testing ads more, but I also don't want to just give all my ads money to big corporations. So I'm going to go out and talk to different smaller groups. And I had mine set at 300. If you had 300 people on your email list or more that would be very specific to my digital products, they would want and benefit from it, then I want to talk. So, and if that's you, by the way, 300 or more. And I've already done one with someone who has 20,000 on their email list, specifically the right type of audience. I have another one coming out that has 26,000 on their email list, but I'm having conversations with 300 plus. It just needs to be the right audience. So anyway, if you're interested in that, by the way, you can email me. It's my full name at Gmail. Or you can DM me on Instagram. Arlan was here. Okay. Or threads. Arlan was here. So you're going to go to them and you're going to say, I made something new that helps people with. If you think it could help your audience, here's a single sentence you can copy and paste, and then you tell them what you want to say. These are smaller. So what you're doing is you're going to them and you're saying, hey, this is going to help your audience. If they're at 200 to 2,000, they want things that help their audience and they don't have to pay for it. Or they want things that help their audience that they didn't have to research and find. You're handing it to them on a silver platter. That's going to be beneficial. Now, I want to take a moment just to say to you, look at the description below, because not only do you have the link to this, very helpful. I'm not going to go over every piece of it, so you're going to want to look deep dive, but you also get a link to my prompt shop in a box, which is one of those offers I told you about, which is just how it sounds. It's in a box virtually, and I hand it over to you, and you can start selling it right away. I've already had somebody who made $2,200, 2203 in 4 days using it. That's a 22x return on investment, but that's not what everybody's going to do. Some people are not going to make any money at all. Some people are going to make their money back, and some people will make more like this person did. But it's really, really cool because you can use the prompts yourself, even if you do nothing else. And there's a really amazing group of people who are working on it together. And it's awesome. It's been awesome. So every day, I don't know, 25 to 40 people sign up. And it's been wonderful. In there. It's more than 500. We're going to hit 600 soon. By the time you see this, who knows what number is going to be at? It could be funny that I'm talking about that number, right? But it's really, really, really special. And now that you're learning who to sell it to and how, it's going to make it even better. Now, there's more to it there's so many more options that I give you. And I also show you here how to do a personal branding version, like with video, and how to do a faceless option. So make sure you go to the site and you click on it so that you can see the link below that takes you to this page, this lead magnet page. Okay. And then we go back up here to the prompt shop bonus. And speaking of, I give you like, I don't know, 11, 12 different options. You go through here and then look at this real success story. This one was really cool when it came through a few days ago. So one of my prompt shop in a box clients recently wrote about using TikTok live to sell her prompts. I want you to think about this for whatever you're selling. And TikTok, we know about TikTok Live's physical products that you can sell. And you can have like physical products. They don't let you sell digital products. But if you think about it for like something like prompts, it's really interesting, or something like templates, PDFs, courses, things like that. She went live and she demonstrated using the prompts. And these were some that she made. She made some because I have an unlimited prompt maker. So she made them. And she demonstrated. So what she did was she had some viewers on, not a lot, but a few viewers. And she said, okay, I'm going to type in your inputs. So I have this prompt and there's a place where I can say your name here or your niche here or whatever. And I'm going to put your information in. So somebody throw something at me. And then people would, and then she would type it in live on TikTok and she would read out what response ChatGPT gave her. And because they were such great responses and people were so impressed by it, they ran over to her stand store that I helped her set up and they start buying the prompts because they bought that prompt and others. They're like, oh, if that one works so well, I'm sure her other prompts work well. So if you think about like demonstrating, you're trying to get 100 people, and you're like, well, how do I go? How do I go on? What excuse do I have to go on TikTok live or Instagram live? Same thing you could do. YouTube live. What am I doing? Well, if you're willing to put yourself out there for just a little bit, could you do a live demonstration? It may not go technically perfectly, right? Like it may be like, it may be a little slow or clunky or not work as well as you think it will, but just demonstrating and showing people. It's like Mad Libs, that game, like you say, or improv. So if you ever been to an improv show or seen one, whose line is it anyway with an improv show? Or if I go to them in LA here where you're in the audience and the people on stage are doing the comedy bit. And they're like, okay, in order to do our next scene, we want to have you tell us a location. Where's the location? An ice skating rink or on the top of a mountain or whatever. So then they have the location and they're like, okay. And then they say, okay, well, what color is the jacket that I'm wearing? What color, what color? And they yell out colors. And then they start to formulate this scene. And because it's so fresh from the audience, it's like it shows their true talent of we did this on the spot is true improv. So if you think about demonstrating, especially when it comes to the prompt shop, this is for my prompt shop people. If you think about demonstrating what it does or demonstrating what your offer that this other offer you have. Another way to do it is like, let's say you're a coach and you may have already done this before, but if you're a coach, when's the last time you went live and did a hot seat? Like go on YouTube live, get somebody else on there and do a hot seat with them where you're helping them in real time with their issues, with a challenge in their business or a challenge with whatever you're coaching them on, and you're demonstrating for 15, 20 minutes how you're able to do that in real time. And then the people watching are like, whoa, if they're able to do that in 20 minutes in front of people live, I wonder what it would be like to work with them for 6 weeks. You see, so you're doing that. So when we're talking about traffic, there's so much more in that link. I want you to look in the link below. I'm going to make sure. Yeah, I want you to look in the link below. There's so much more. Let me give you a couple more because I want you to have as much of this as possible. And I know many of you are going to go click on this, but I'll give you a little bit more and I'll show you kind of like how it goes. So we talked about direct outreach. And then you might say, well, who in my list? Coworkers, past colleagues, people in your phone, people who have asked you for help before, small business owners creators you follow and talk to, people who keep posting about problems your prompts solve, right? Like you're going to start to peel back the negative thing in your voice that's saying this won't work or they won't want this or they won't listen to me. And you're going to turn it instead into a numbers game of if I send this out to 30 people and 20 people don't respond or even a couple people are mad at me or annoyed by me, but I can have 10 people who needed this to see it, isn't that worth it to me? And for you, it may not be worth it. For you, you might not be able to take that risk. But I'm telling you that risk is what has gotten me where I am. We were just talking to Terry Igioma. Remember when I was at Afrotech and I showed you me having that interview with two other people, and together we control $150 million as of today. These three Black women. And Terry's book is called The Risk Worth Taking. And I asked her about that, and she said, "Yeah, everything that has been successful for me has been the other side of risk." Now, this woman has generated more than $60 million in cash in like 6 years or something, 8 years, something like that. So she was a teacher. She was teaching, and she said, "I don't want to make 30,000 a year, 40,000 a year. I want more." So she went to the other side of risk because she was so scared. And a lot of times what we'll do is we won't put it out there. We won't do the video. We won't do the LinkedIn post. We won't do the text message because we're so worried about what other people are going to think of us. I gave that up a long time ago. And yes, it does come with some downside. It comes with people having something to say about you. But at the same time, I dab my tears with $100 bills. And that's just the truth. And with that money, I'm not hoarding that money. I'm sharing that money. I was able to give $1 million in commitments to several Black scholars in different schools, Oxford University, Dillard University, Harvard Law. I helped a woman, Peta. She's she's a commercial pilot in Europe now because I was able to take a risk. I want you to hear me. This woman is a Black woman in Europe. Her mother was doing back-breaking work, cleaning, doing errands, whatever she could to help her daughter, Peta, go through flight school because that was her dream. And her mother worked her butt off, but it still wasn't enough money. So when I found out about it, I started paying the other half of what was needed. And I'm not going to say the amount, but it was a lot of money. You can look up how much flight school is in Europe, okay? I was able to do that because I took a risk. I said, yeah, maybe a few people are going to talk about me behind my back, which they do. Maybe a few people who I thought were friends are going to say some stuff that hurts my feelings, which they do. But what about the thousands and thousands and thousands, the tens or hundreds of thousands of other people that I get to help? And what about Peta? What about the woman, the young Black woman that I helped go through flight school, who now gets to live her dream? She's a commercial airline pilot. And she says that when little Black girls, or even little girls in general, look up at her, they're so excited to see her with her pilot outfit on. What if the person that you're meant to help and that you're meant to inspire and help with money, and then they are meant to inspire the world, never gets to meet you or know of you because you're scared of what some people who have small minds and small ambition might say one day? What if they're stopping you from being the biggest, brightest version of you?